The little girl came in to say that Madame Lebrun would like to have Mrs. Pontellier go and sit with them over at the house till Mr. Robert went away. Edna returned answer that she had already undressed, that she did not feel quite well, but perhaps she would go over to the house later. She started to dress again, and go as far advanced as to remove her peignoir. But changing her mind once more, she resumed the peignoir, and went outside and sat down before the door. She was overheated and irritable, and fanned herself energetically for a while. Madame Ratignolle came down to discover what was the matter. "All the noise and confusion at the table must have upset me," replied Edna, "and moreover I hate shocks and surprises. The idea of Robert starting off in such a ridiculously sudden and dramatic way, as if it were a matter of life and death, never saying a word about it all morning when he was with me." "Yes," agreed Madame Ratignolle, "I think it was showing us all, you especially, very little consideration. It wouldn't have surprised me in any of the others. Those Lebruns are all given to heroics. But I must say I should never have expected such a thing from Robert. Are you not coming down? Come on, dear, it doesn't look friendly." "No," said Edna, a little sullenly. "I can't go to the trouble of dressing again. I don't feel like it." "You needn't dress. You look all right. Fasten the bell around your waist. Just look at me." "No," persisted Edna. "But you go on. Madame Lebrun might be offended if we were both stayed away." Madame Ratignolle kissed Edna good night, and went away, being in truth rather desirous of joining in the general and animated conversation which was still in progress concerning Mexico and the Mexicans. Somewhat later Robert came up, carrying his handbag. "Aren't you feeling well?" he asked. "Oh, well enough." "Are you going right away?" He lit a match and looked at his watch. "In 20 minutes," he said. The sudden and brief flare of the match emphasized the darkness for a while. He sat down upon a stool which the children had left out on the porch. "Get a chair," said Edna. "This will do," he replied. He put on his soft hat and nervously took it off again, and wiping his face with the handkerchief complained of the heart. "Take the fan," said Edna, offering it to him. "Oh no, thank you. It does not good. You have to stop fanning some time, and feel all the more uncomfortable afterward." "That's one of the ridiculous things which men always say. I have never known one to speak otherwise of fanning. How long will you be gone?" "Forever, perhaps. I don't know. It depends upon a good many things." "Well, in case it shouldn't be forever, how long will it be?" "I don't know." This seems to me perfectly pres- preposterous and uncalled for. I don't like it. I don't understand your motive for silence and mystery, never saying a word to me about it this morning." He remained silent, not offering to defend himself. He only said, after a moment, "Don't part from me in an ill humour. I never knew you to be out of patience with me before." "I don't want to part in an ill humour," he said, "but can't you understand? I've grown used to seeing you, to having you with me all the time, and your action seems unfriendly, even unkind. You don't even offer an excuse for it. Why?" "Why, I was planning to be together, thinking of how pleasant it would be to see you in the city next winter." "So was I," he blurted. "Perhaps that's the—" He stood up suddenly and held out his hand. "Good-bye, my dear Mrs. Pontellier. Good-bye. You won't— I hope you won't completely forget me." She clung to his hand, striving to detain him. "Write to me when you get there, won't you, Robert?" she entreated. "I will. Thank you. Goodbye." How unlike Robert! The merest acquaintance would have said something more emphatic than "I will. Thank you. Goodbye" to such a request. He had evidently already taken leave of the people over at the house, for he descended the steps and went to join Beaudelet, who was out there with an oar across his shoulder waiting for Robert. They walked away in the darkness. She could only hear Beaudelet's voice. Robert had apparently not even spoken a word of greeting to his companion. Edna beat her handkerchief convulsively, striving to hold back and to hide, even from herself as she would have hidden from another, the emotion which was troubling, tearing her. Her eyes were brimming with tears. For the first time she recognized anew the symptoms of infatuation, which she had felt incipiently as a child, as a girl in her earliest teens, and later as a young woman. The recognition did not lessen the reality, the poignancy of the revelation by any suggestion or promise of instability. The past was nothing to her, offered no lesson which she was willing to heed. The future was a mystery which she never attempted to penetrate. The present alone was significant, was hers, to torture her as it was doing then, with the biting conviction that she had lost that which she had held, that she had been denied that which her impassioned, newly awakened being demanded.